August 31st, 2016. My name is Jessica Boyd, and I am a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire University. I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in the video I'm working on for Government and You project. The interview will be used to create the video and submitted to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
I, Gray Boyce, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Thank you.
I, Travis Boyd, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
I, Taylor Boyce, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Now I have some questions about our government. What are the three branches of government?
Executive, judicial, and legislative.
Legislative, judicial, and that's all I know.
Good enough.
The executive, the legislative, and the judicial,
Okay. Do you know what each branch does?
to an extent.
Could you tell me?
Don't know.
No idea at all?
No idea.
Okay.
Judicial system, or the judicial branch is responsible for evaluating cases that are of law that have already been established by the other branches of our justice system. Let's see, the legislative is mostly responsible for coming up with the laws, and the executive is more or less the higher up version, the President of the United States and a few of the branches there that will evaluate said laws.
You seem to know your government.
Slightly.
What does each branch do?
The executive branch enforces laws. The legislative branch makes law. No, the judicial branch enforces laws. The legislative branch makes laws. And the executive branch maybe they make the laws and the legislative branch passes the laws.
Are you sure about that?
No.
The government are the legislative, executive, and judicial branch. The legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and they have the authority to make laws. They can also declare war, regulate commerce, and establish federal courts. They can also destroy federal courts. This helps keep the judicial branch in check. The legislative branch also helps keep the executive branch in check, as they are generally led by two different parties, not one party leading the entire government. The executive branch includes the president, who is the leader of the country. They also hold the power to veto any proposed laws coming from the legislative branch, keeping the legislative branch in check. The Senate must approve the president's cabinet members, which keeps the executive branch in check. The judicial branch includes courts and judges. They have the power of judicial review, which means they can overturn a law, which holds the executive and legislative branches in check. And their main job is to make impartial and wise decisions that other legislators would not. However, the power to uphold those decisions is limited unless backed by the other two branches. So all three rely on each other. Congress has the power to create or dismantle courts, and the president nominates judges, but they must be approved by the Senate. Therefore, the other two branches also have a means of keeping the judicial branch in check. Democrats and Republicans are the two major parties. Can you name a third minor party?
I couldn't until you just asked me the question. I'm going to go with Libertarian Party.
Still active, I assume.
Whatever.
Libertarian would be a third party that has a little bit of support this year.
Okay. Democrats and Republicans are the two major parties. Could you name a third minor party?
Independent?
The two-party system began during the Federalist era in 1789. The first two parties were the Federalist Party and the Democratic Republican Party. The Democratic Republican Party favored farmers and the Federalists favored business. This then led to the second party system of the Jacksonians and Jeffersonians. And then the third party system during the Gilded Age with the two major parties we know today, the Democrats and Republicans. The third party system was focused on domestic issues, which then led to the fourth party system, which was the same two major parties, but they were focused on foreign politics. Today, modern politics are still ruled by the two major parties, the Democrats and Republicans, and third minor parties do exist and can impact national politics. They rarely win, but can shift national attention to the particular issues that they support. Also, they can draw votes away from the major party candidates. Although they have not obtained official or consistent representation in the federal government, they can still affect election outcomes. Okay. And final question, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
Haven't you seen the video where it gets thrown down the stairs?
I think everyone's seen that video, but could you tell me what was in the video?
I think...
I guess somebody comes up with what they want to be a law and they go to the court and it goes through the system.
Yes, a bill becoming a law would be a bill presented to usually a congressman who then would establish if he is going to support it, get enough support behind it to then take it up to the floor of Congress, in which case it would typically be voted on and then evaluated, I believe, by somebody else, the president maybe, the right to veto some of that stuff. It's been a while since I've done any of this. That's about as far as I'd go with it.
The executive branch makes it, sends it to the legislature, and they pass it, and the judicial people say, law.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
A bill must first be introduced as legislation by a member of Congress, who then becomes known as the sponsor. It is given a number and assigned to a committee. Research is done and it is modified or amended. Hearings may be held for the committee to gather further information from supporters or those who do not support the bill, as well as experts on the subject matter. It could be assigned to a subcommittee for more research and review. And once the research is completed, the committee votes on whether or not to push the bill to the House or Senate floor. The bill is then debated on the floor and amendments are considered, proposed, and voted on. If the House or Senate decides to pass the bill, it moves to the other chamber and the process starts over. If the House or Senate decide not to pass the bill, it dies there. If the other chamber also decides to pass the bill after markup, written review, and voting are complete, the bill goes to a conference committee to reconcile the differences between the House and Senate versions. Both the House and Senate must approve the final version, and if it is approved, it's sent to the President. If the President chooses to approve it, it becomes a law immediately. If the President does nothing with it for 10 days while Congress is still in the same session, it is automatically approved and becomes a law. If the President does nothing with it for 10 days and Congress switches sessions, it becomes a pocket veto and is automatically vetoed, or the President can outright veto the law and it will die there with the President. And that is how a bill becomes a law.